As part of my review of the Tana Forum, I interviewed Honourable Betty Bigombe. Honourable Bigombe is an expert in conflict and peace negotiations. She has served as a member of the Tana Advisory Board. In the interview, she shares her experiences of the Tana Forum and her hopes for its future. Enjoy the interview.
So, hi again, Honourable. Thank you so much for the indulgence.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, so as we discussed before, there are just a few questions for which I would like us to have your views on regarding the 10 years of the Tana Forum. And
Yes.
I think we'll start by asking you in general, just to give us your perspectives on your experiences with the Tana Forum. How has it been like you were involved in the beginning? What was your experience with the Tana Forum?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me. Of course, I was one of the pioneers right at the beginning, the conception of the Tana Forum. And at the beginning gave me a lot of hope because this was conceived by Africans. And so they set the agenda. And I must say, looking back, where we started from and where we are today, there's remarkable progress that has been made. And I must commend the Secretariat with the help of Ethiopian government and development partners who have been able to stay on and fund the process and make sure it moves on. And we've achieved a lot in terms of research, the various research that have been conducted, which usually form the agenda for the discussions every year. I have tried to read as much as possible. They're high quality agendas. They give you also the true picture of what, they're good analysis of what is going on in Africa. So I'm very encouraged by that. And just like you in the concept note that you sent to me earlier, that the Tana Forum is now setting the agenda for Africa in peace and security, the peace and security architecture, which is very important. That said, with all the achievements that the Tana Forum has made, I have to mention this, that the recent coup d'etats in Africa, Mali, Burkina Faso, Chad, the recent one in Niger, all gives us the question, with all these thorough discussions we have had and high-level participation of different people, and I must say it's very inclusive, is it being translated into reality? Because Africa is drifting back to the days of wars, and not to mention the war in Sudan and South Sudan. It looks like Africa is drifting back to the days of the coup d'etats. If you see what's happening in Niger today, the demonstrations, the celebrations by the youth, and generally the people that welcome the coups, are African governments managing triggers of conflict like poverty, marginalization of people, disparity, which is more between the rich and the poor, and the growth of population growth. Are African governments managing this? And if so, why are we having all these coup d'etats, and why are they being celebrated? I can even go further and say, what about elections? Are leaders accountable to their people? Do they believe in these elections? Because today, elections, leaders were elected, and I'm not just talking of heads of states, I'm talking about parliamentarians as well. And they're accountable to the citizens. So people do not even have faith in elections anymore because, and that's why they take up arms to fight, because it's marred by rigging, election buying, vote buying, all kinds of activities that accompanied. Your country is just completed. And by the way, congratulations. But even then, what the government did makes people very suspicious whether it was free and fair. And this is what brings dissatisfaction, disgruntlement. So what I'm saying in here, do we not, with all these powerful people coming in, excellent research being carried out, don't we need to go to the drawing board and really translate some of these things, issues, into action, as opposed to just academicians, policymakers coming in, and then we go home and say, the conference, the forum was fantastic. They've done a great job. If they're setting the agenda, are we translating this agenda into action so that we can prevent the conflicts? This is what I see as lacking. You know, when Brutus Ghali was the Secretary General of the UN, he came up with an idea. Basically, it was about prevention of conflicts, deployment of troops, UN giving $1 billion+. So as we have standing forces that can step in and prevent, well, I think ECOWAS is trying and has tried. They helped this. I still remember vividly what was going on in Gambia that could have broken up into war in the Gambia after the elections, even Burkina Faso. But like in Niger, it's basically what is happening is scary. It's like the continent is going to go into war because we are divided. So to me, it brings it. I keep asking myself the question of the effectiveness of all these intellectual discussions and forums we are having. Can we go back and also evaluate their impact? How are the materials or the discussions being imparted? Is it just being shared among the elites? Is it being translated so that it's going to the grassroots? Our militaries know what is going on. Are they involved in these things? And I think they should be involved as well. So excellent progress. I'm very proud of it, and I'm very proud to have been part of it at the beginning, but I think we need to do more. I think there are gaps that is translating it into action and probably sharing the outcomes of the forum, the deliberations that have taken place. I think it's just remaining in universities with the lead of people who are involved in conflict resolution. It's not being translated. It's not filled. It's not permeating. It's not reaching the grassroots. So there's that gap. And I repeat myself again, that translating it into action. So we need, one, I recommend evaluation of the impact of what has been achieved in the last 10 years, not just looking at how the forums were conducted, how successful, how participants were very, very many, but the impact it's having on the ground, the reality, the outcome, whether it's making a difference in conflict resolution or in bringing peace in the peace and security architecture.
Thank you, Honourable. Thank you. You mentioned the need to do more to prevent, especially going forward. What are one or two things that you would recommend that we do differently as Africans or at the AU level to bring peace to the continent?
You know, the coup d'etats, I mean, it stopped in the 80s and 90s. It stopped. But it looks like AU is powerless because it's beginning to increase. I also ask, do these sanctions really work? Because it looks like, say, sanction, haha, they will talk about it, but what impact does it have? So I'm looking at something that I've been singing from my days at the World Bank, prevention. Can we invest more in prevention? Can we translate all these wonderful ideas into action? Can we fight? Can we do more about the drivers of conflict? But that means convincing leaders. We need to also examine the democracy, which the root of it is in elections. Are they working in the African sense, or is this very European where people go to, to vote without really understanding the manifestos of the candidates, without being accountable to people? Because all these are things or issues that drive conflict. Yeah, so we need to step back and reflect. Where are the gaps? What haven't we done to prevent conflicts? Are sanctions enough? Look at what is going on in Niger, just like I said earlier on. Could it have been prevented? Because sometimes we sense it coming. We sense that people are disgruntled, but we don't do enough. We don't take measures to mitigate the problem that is coming. We wait until it happens. Are we putting in use early warning mechanisms that we worked on so many years ago? Are we putting them into use, or are they collecting dust? Those are things we need to question ourselves, that probably if we develop more other tools, for example, one thing I still believe in, whether it prevents or not, but at least it gives opportunity for the masses to air their views. This one tool is national dialogue. Yeah, which a lot of our leaders don't buy into it. But national dialogue, if it is well orchestrated, well designed, it gives the poor, it gives everybody, the masses who are never really heard because they're not given opportunity to speak, to say what they think. Because I think if national dialogue, some leaders could allow it to take place, it's one tool that probably could help in prevention of conflict, because the journalists are writing every day. There's a problem here and there, but we, like ostrich, we put our heads in the sand until it blows up when it's already too late. So I think we need to be more innovative and more practical, more pragmatic, as opposed to just lecturing, presenting good papers, which are excellent, true there. But these excellent papers, how can we translate them into action?
Thank you, Honourable.
Giving them on paper.
Yes. If you were to have your wish list of 3 things to stop conflict on the continent, what would they be? If you, in your ideal world, what would those be?
getting leaders to be more realistic and address the underlying causes of conflicts early enough, and not to be insensitive to the complaints of the people. Basically, it is marginalization of particular groups or particular parts of the country. It is the level of poverty and provision of basic social services. Okay. If poverty was addressed, that is not selective, because today, my country will talk of GDP. I'll tell you a short story. Youths were rioting in Uganda, and I decided to go and have a meeting with them. And because I wanted them to say, could we not, instead of bringing tires and burning them on the streets, and the army and the police reacting violently with bullets, could we not find other ways of communicating your message to the government so that it can be learned, it can be useful, instead of demonstration? Because reaction from the police, usually, they said, you know, government keeps telling me our GDP. What is GDP? GDP is written to this. What is it to me when I cannot send my child to school? When I can no longer afford sugar? When we used to drink tea, now we've cut out as a people. So this way of superficial, of just looking and a sense of complacency by government, that, oh, you know, GDP we've just read is now this. Oh, the country is now moving from least developed countries to middle income countries. This sense of complacency by leaders and looking at general pictures and not really listening to citizens is something I wish leaders could do, and be more honest about it and accept. That would be number one wish list. And democracy. Holding elections is not enough. Like I said, today, are we satisfied? But accountability to the people. Accountability to the people. And this, I'm not talking just about leaders, but members of parliament. Well, they're leaders as well in their capacity. Can they be more on the ground to listen to the people and carry their messages to the right platform to be heard? Generally, and corruption. Corruption is destroying Africa. Leaders have to be more innovative to find out how they can fight corruption, because it is endemic. If you look at what is lost through corruption and what eventually reaches the people, what is taken by corruption is a lot higher than what eventually reaches the beneficiaries. So I say generally governance, but if leaders could show seriousness in fighting corruption and just not using rhetorics and just not promising people, raising expectations of the people and eventually not doing anything about it, I think it would make those are my wish list.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Honourable. Maybe a last quick one. What would be your parting quote on Tana Forum or peace and security in Africa in general, or democracy? What would be your message to people of Africa today? Yes.
Peace and security in Africa can be prevented if we endeavor to address or manage poverty, marginalization, discrimination against groups, whether it's religious groups, whatever group. If we could manage those as particular leaders and be accountable to our people and listen to them and practice real democracy as opposed to democracy, and yet votes have been rigged, and yet violence took place, and some people have not had the opportunity to vote. Then I think we could, the peace and security architecture in Africa would change. That would be my message. And Tana Forum has the leverage. It has the ability to get these messages across to African leaders, because at least when I was still on the board, the turn-up of leaders was very impressive. They came in and they talked from their hearts, and you could see the energy in them. Could this continue, that more leaders participate and really open up and discuss these issues that is driving, because conflicts keeps taking us back. We talk development, but we cannot talk development when there's conflict, when people are divided, when state resources are being shared among the few, and the rest are not benefiting from it. So we need to get on the ground and be more realistic to address these triggers of conflict. And I think then we can talk with confidence. I mean, we blame our colonial masters, but it's been 60 years. We could have that. We've been independent and opportunity to correct all these evils that were done. I mean, they're still there, but we could fight it if there is that commitment and solidarity among the African leaders, the Africans. We could fight, yes, the leftover of colonial, how should I put it? The hangover from colonialism. I think they could be addressed if there was that political will and commitment. The hangover could be addressed in solidarity with one another. That's what I would say.
Thank you so much, Honorable. What we are going to do is we edit the video and then we'll share it with you. But also, as we progress with the review of the Tana Forum, we're creating a portal where these videos are going to be for people to be able to access, and also for it to be a resource of those young ones that want to learn about your views and other people's views as well.
Okay.
So
Thank
I'll
you.
continue to be in
sorry,
touch.
I've been very critical, but I'm talking from my heart, because I see this increase of wars and the coup d'etats that are taking place, and it's going to continue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I
So
think
I want Tana Forum to come down on the ground.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much. They will hear the message. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I'll connect
Thank
with you about the possible interview with HE.
Yes.
Yes, the letters. I'll send them later today.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
Then